Here is a 1990 LS400 1uz shoved into a 91 4Runner, and I'm going to show you the simple wiring that it took to make it run. First, we'll start over here with the alternator wiring. I took the factory wiring and plug off the LS400, and it has a white wire with a blue stripe there, a yellow wire, and a black wire with a red stripe. And I tied it into the factory Toyota 4Runner harness, which the white wire is your thick one, but the 4Runner doesn't have a stripe. The yellow one does have a blue stripe, and the red one that goes to the black one. So you have 3 wires on your alternator. And then you have the main power wire that goes to the fuses for the alternator. And that's it for there. Nothing special on this side. I'm not tapped into anything from the body to the engine. Everything else is on the inside. And nothing's finalized yet. It was just temporary hooked up to do a test on it. So we have the big gray plug that goes from the factory 1uz harness, engine harness, and it has the solid black wire. And then I just have an alligator clip hooked into this gray plug, which is the gray, or the black and white wire, which is your starter signal. So when you turn the key on and crank it to the start position, it just cranks over the starter. And then on the other side, we have a thick black and orange, a small black and red, a thick black and red, and a small black and orange off that plug. And then off the ECU, we have another black and orange, and those are all ignition on wires. And I threw a little jumper on there, and on here, on the factory 4Runner, we have a black with a red stripe wire, and I threw the little alligator clip jumper on there. So when you turn the key to the run position, it powers up that. And then off this gray number 4 plug on the ECU, you also have a black and yellow wire. And I shoved it over into the plug to temporarily make it run, and the full-time power wire on the factory 4Runner harness is a black and green. And that is your full-time power for the ECU. And then this little wire off the ECU, which is a green with a red stripe, that is the fuel pump wire that makes that fuel pump relay turn on. And that is all it took to make it work, was 1 wire. And it just grounds out when the airflow meter senses air going by it, and it grounds out the fuel pump and turns it on. And then with everything just temporary wired up that way, I can reach over here, put the key in, and since this one is a manual transmission 4Runner harness, push the clutch start cancel button since I can't reach the clutch, and then she fires right up. And idle's fine. But I'm not sure on all my automatic transmission wiring. I need to mess with all that because we are running the factory two-wheel drive transmission. And that's as easy as that is. No need to cut into the 3 main power plugs on the ECU. Not power plugs, but 3 main plugs. I kept seeing people tap into those when there's no reason to, because when it's plugged into the factory harness in the car, it's getting all the power from these plugs, or from this one and from this one. There's no reason to cut into any of that.